Hello, fellow HubSpotters. This is Emma with QE Creative, and today we're talking about HubSpot's knowledge base, one of my favorite tools. The knowledge base is how you can create a self-service library of helpful articles that your customers can browse rather than bombarding your support team with repetitive requests like, how do I reset my password for the 80th time this week? In other words, it's your 24/7 support rep who never sleeps, eats, or complains about ticket volume. We love this feature because it scales support without scaling your headcount. It's customizable, it's clean, and obviously it plays nice with HubSpot's chat and ticketing tools. And pro tip, you don't actually have to use this for visitors or customers. You can actually use the knowledge base for internally facing documentation, processes, or other things. But before you go all in on HubSpot's knowledge base, there are a few things to keep in mind. You do need Service Hub Pro or Enterprise to access this feature. If you want multiple knowledge bases on multiple domains, that's the key here, that feature is only available at the Enterprise tier, and it requires either the brands add-on or the domain limit increase. If you want a few different knowledge bases on the same domain, no problem. You don't need those things. Also, in order to create and edit articles, users do need to have an assigned service seat. So core seat holders don't get this option. Now, don't worry, our guide, Secrets to Building a Better HubSpot Knowledge Base, is linked below. So don't frantically take notes, just download that instead. All right, let's dive into our walkthrough. As always, I'll be using our demo portal, so do remember that although the interface is a little weird compared to yours, the steps remain the same. Now, before we actually build our knowledge base, there are two optional but recommended steps. The first is connecting your knowledge base domain. As you can see, by default, it's your account number followed by hssites.com. This can be concerning for your more astute visitors, and it breaks the branding continuity that I'm sure you've been working hard to establish. The second optional but recommended step is to create a support form. Whether you're using the legacy or the new form editor, this can be a form where visitors can submit to create a ticket should they not find the answer they need in the knowledge base. Underneath the settings, you simply toggle on the automatic ticket creation and specify where you want this to go. You can build in automatic priorities or ticket routing and assignment rules, whatever you see fit. To create our actual knowledge base, after determining if you like those first two steps, way down at the bottom under content, we want knowledge base. Once we get here, this is a simple wizard that walks you through creating your knowledge base. This is where you'll see that domain. If you didn't connect one, you're stuck with the default. As far as the slug, most users find that the subdomain is sufficient. It doesn't also need a slug. That depends on what's helpful for you. Template. There are 5 options, all with their advantages and disadvantages. The good news is you can change this later if you don't like it. So I encourage you to check this out and see what aligns most with your processes, your branding. I'm just going to pick tiles because it looks cool. You can change this. You'll also be prompted to pick categories. You can change this too. Believe it or not all knowledge bases include an integration section or a report section. You can pick whatever you want. You can rename them. You can delete them. You can create completely custom categories of your own. Hooray, you have a knowledge base. Okay. Once we get that set up, we'll still be in the back end. This is where you can change the knowledge base name, connect a newly connected domain. We can also access the template, this new feature. This is where we would add that support form that you potentially created. We can toggle on related articles, which further allows our users to find similar articles to answer their questions. And we can also turn on the article last updated feature, which simply gives more credence to the information we're providing. If we visit our service icon in our black vertical menu and we visit knowledge base, this is where we can go to start configuring the branding of our knowledge base. We're not creating articles just yet. We'll get to that. If you've been utilizing HubSpot's email and or landing page tools, this will be pretty familiar. We can update our colors. If you've set your branding colors, that's what will show up. This is the demo. I've not set branded colors. Layout is where we can go to change the template. Remember, if you don't like content rich, go ahead and switch it. Header, footer, all manner of changes here. Same thing with header and footer. It gets more specific. Do note that the header and footer are global settings, so it will change every single one of your knowledge base articles, right? Now, categories, if you recall, this is another area that we talked about being able to change. We can delete entire categories. We can create all new ones. We can edit existing ones. I think this said FAQs a minute ago and I changed it. What you may also notice is when I edit, I could pick icons. These are obviously HubSpot provided icons. You can add your own images if you have an icon library that's more appropriate to your business. We can also add subcategories. Of course, the logic being sneakers and high heels are types of shoes, right? What is the logical path that your users will take to find their answers? So I could create a whole nother category. You've done a lot of legwork thus far. We're now to creating articles. We can indeed import existing articles if you have them, if you want them. Under your knowledge base name, right now it has the new tag. It might look different by the time you get to this. You'll realize we can import a knowledge base. Now time out, because this part's a little confusing, right? But Emma, I don't want to import a CSV. Well, no, neither does anybody. If we click previous, you'll notice it takes you back a step to the options of being able to smart copy or import a CSV. Unfortunately, as of the time of this recording, Smart Copy can only support Intercom, Help Scout, Freshdesk, or Zendesk articles. So you could follow through with this widget and copy over former knowledge base articles that are existing if they're updated, if they're correct. I, of course, recommend importing it as a draft because perhaps you didn't have categories or you've changed them since from your last knowledge base. So don't import and publish right away, right? We could also import with a CSV. So if your existing knowledge base is on a non-supported smart copy platform, that's okay. You can import a CSV. Go ahead and download the sample import file. It simply displays, hey, you need a title. Do you have a subtitle? What's the body? And then you can go ahead and get this imported just like you would a list of leads from a trade show, right? If you do not have an existing knowledge base, or perhaps it's so outdated you don't want to migrate it into HubSpot, we have reached the section of the video where you can create your own article. This is very simple. Again, whether you've been using HubSpot's marketing and or landing page tools, or you've ever done this, if you've ever used a Google Doc, you'll notice the toolbar is similar. What I recommend before typing, however, is determining internally, and we talk about this in the guide linked below, how are we going to format these things? Number one, so it's easier for your team to replicate ongoing. Number two, so it's easiest for your users to find and access the information. How are we going to title our articles? Are we how to reset your password? Or how are we phrasing these? Subtitles are also really helpful. This is going to be more meat of the subject, and it really helps for search terms. Subtitle, hooray. And then when we start writing our articles, is it copy? Is it a bulleted list? Is it, I'm going to use a pink call out in this section to hyperlink my video? Hooray. How are you going to do it? Determine that now. Once you make up these rules, this is very simple, creating it as you go. Now, under the settings button in the top right-hand corner, you'll notice the slug automatically pulls from the article title. If you like that, great. If you don't, you can change it here. You'll also notice this is where those categories are that we were talking about. Oh, shoes. I happen to have subcategories of shoes. You'll notice some of these guys don't have subcategories. No big deal, right? Tags is helpful because this is where we can create very common searchable words. Obviously, we'd want to be cognizant of that while we're writing our article, but we can add additional tags. Now, keep in mind, whoever is in charge of creating your knowledge base articles can create as many tags as they like. There's not a magic number. You should have this many tags, this many categories is bad, but we want to make this easy for the people making them and searching them. So keep in mind that pluralization matters. Password and passwords aren't the same, right? We also need to add a meta description, hooray, in order to publish this. Once I have this published, this is indeed accessible and live. What you'll notice is that only the categories that have articles are displayed here. So if you recall, shoes was a category. It's not shown here. Why not? There's no articles yet. So now we have our knowledge base. We branded it. We configured it. We have categories. We have tags. We've imported articles. We're rocking and rolling. Now what? How do people get to it? A very common way is simply by including your URL, which I hope has a nicer subdomain than mine, alongside your website support copy. So for example, on this website, we can see, hey, under support, it goes directly to the knowledge base. What do you know? HubSpot knowledge base, separated by category. In this instance, it's particular products that they offer. That's one way. Take the URL, add it to your website, folks can navigate. Another way is by adding it to your chat, HubSpot chat specifically. This can be included a couple different ways. You may have noticed if you've been playing around with this that there are several different types of chats, and this is also based on tiers. Our rules-based chatbot specifically, you'll notice down here we have a lot of different templates to pick from, one of them being knowledge base and support bot. What this looks like is the ability to simply, for your users to simply search your knowledge base. One day, yours preview will work. The point is that they'll be able to look up the knowledge base articles. Another way this could potentially be helpful, if we're looking maybe at one of a different types of chat flow, whether you pick knowledge base bot or not, that is an option you can pick. So even if that template wasn't right for you and you prefer to build it from scratch, you can add that as an option. So folks can, using keywords, search for the knowledge base. Again, if they type in passwords and your tag and your category and your copy only says password, so do be mindful of that. So there are definitely a couple ways you can share this. As always, too, if you're utilizing one-to-one email templates or snippets or something to that effect, you can include knowledge base articles within those as well. So if you have an email template, your customer facing teams are often trying to share this information. You can include knowledge base articles directly in your template. It can be included in your snippet. So you can share this a lot of different ways. Okay, you built your knowledge base. It looks great. People are looking at it. You're sharing it till the cows come home. A step you cannot forget is reviewing how it's performing. Based on your hubs, your tiers, how long you've been in the portal, if you've enrolled in any betas, we're going to look at our knowledge base tab from our service icon, and your tab may say Analyze, it may say Insights. Click it, okay? This is out of the box reporting, and it can be edited for time range. Obviously, I just created this, so my time range is truncated. Pay attention to your article health. How long are people staying on an article? Is it thumbs up helpful rating or thumbs down? Did we write an article thinking it would be really helpful, but it's not actually answering the customer's questions? Additionally, we can see how many searches, what are they searching for? Did we nail it with our categories, our copy, and our tags? Or, are they searching for a phrase that we did not account for? This is extraordinarily important. If you do business internationally, for example, a real use case I have, folks were searching for the word password, but it was in Spanish. Over 1,000 searches for the Spanish word for password yielded no results. That was hundreds upon hundreds of Spanish-speaking users that could not access the information they needed. Pay attention to this and update or create articles as appropriate. We can see our most searched terms. This may seem a bit bland, but is actually really helpful for understanding, hey, people keep searching for how to set up my account. Do we not address this appropriately in onboarding? Is there something on the front end we could provide or do that means people aren't suddenly looking for an answer? HubSpot's knowledge base can be a total game changer for scaling your support without burning out your team. It takes a little effort on the front end, but can yield wonderfully positive results for your users and for your teammate members. If you're using Service Hub Pro or Enterprise, I really encourage you to give this a shot, either externally facing or even internally facing for your company's employees. If you do want a complete guide on all of the secret things to consider and how to build this really strategically, go ahead and download that guide we linked below. It will hopefully save you so much time thinking of things that perhaps aren't included in the HubSpot standard knowledge base articles. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, check out our other HubSpot helper videos and be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Need custom recommendations for your HubSpot portal? Check out our HubSpot action plan today.